All right. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the one and only Wrestling Otaku channel, your personification of excellence on YouTube and YWC. And I am back here once again. It is now officially Wednesday night, October 15th, 2025. So I hope you all have had a good week so far. So apologies if I haven't been as active or haven't uploaded a whole lot of videos in the last week. Just kind of been doing some stuff, focusing on some stuff and all that kind of, everything else. But wanted to get back once again, of course, to doing the content. Got a few things in mind, got a few videos planned. Of course, this upcoming weekend is going to be a fairly big weekend, fairly eventful weekend because we got AEW's next pay per view, which is on this Saturday on the 18th. That being Wrestle Dream, which of course I will be giving my Wrestle Dream predictions video probably at some point between now and then. I'm thinking maybe probably tomorrow because I do have a day off. And of course, I just got through a little while ago watching this week's edition of AEW Dynamite, the go home show before, of course, Wrestle Dream. And also, you had Collision as well. So it was like a 2-for-1 deal. It was a 3-hour special AEW programming or special AEW show here tonight. It was basically Dynamite and Collision together, so it was 3 hours. 2 hours of Dynamite, 1 hour of Collision. So it went from 8 to 11. So just got through watching that a little while ago, and we're now approaching. It's a little past 11 p.m., approaching midnight. So yeah, I wanted to go ahead and do this video because I want to talk about something I've been thinking about for a while. And again, like I said, get back to doing some regular content. And I see that YouTube has finally been fixed, because I don't know if you guys are aware of this or not, but YouTube was down earlier today. Actually, like a couple hours ago, right around the time that Dynamite started. And I knew that the site was messing up because I think I stated this in a video I did late last night. They are short here on the channel. That for whatever reason, I couldn't approve comments. Like, of course, if my comments, my comments are usually held for review. They're put in like a held for review section, and then I'll go to I'll go to the section and look up and down the comments and approve comments, so on and so forth. And I tried to do that like for the last few days, and I couldn't. It wouldn't let me. And then last night I tried to upload a video on my other channel, Phantom and Enemy Reviewer, and it was like stuck in the video had uploaded, but it was processing. It took like 5-10 minutes, and I was like, "What is going on? Like, is the site messing up, or is it just me?" And then I ended up having to click off of it, and it ended up canceling the upload. So I'm like, "Okay, we'll we'll see what happens tomorrow." And then, of course, a couple hours ago, I couldn't YouTube just completely bugged out. Like, it just completely shut down. Like, I couldn't log into my channel or nothing. You click on a video, it's like it shows error. There's an error message and all kinds of shit. And then I see online social media, everybody else is saying they had the same problems. Like, there was a massive YouTube outage like earlier. So it seems to be fixed now, because now I can approve comments again and all that, and I can watch videos. So at least YouTube fixed their site and shit. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, so that was it was pretty bad earlier. I haven't seen the site being down that bad for a long time. But YouTube needs to fix their shit anyways. But anyway, so that's pretty much it for that. But anyway, so let's get on to the topic of this video. So I want to talk about something that I've been hearing quite a bit, and that is people who will defend others, specifically content creators, who basically attack AEW. In the 6 years since AEW's creation, in the 6 years since AEW was formed, and they've given us, all sorts of they basically introduced us to all these names, all these talents, and you've had Dynamite and all these other shows and these pay-per-views, and they've done a lot of great things for the wrestling business, more so than I could probably list here in this video. But it just seems like there's a contingent of people, even back then when it started, that just don't want to give the company a chance at all. It's like it's like these people live to hate on anything that is not WWE. And I understand why, because a lot of them, they grew up watching WWE. They grew up, or WWF as it was known, way back when, or even if they grew up in the freaking 70s or 80s or whatever, it was a WWF, before Vince McMahon, and in the '80s and the Hogan era and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, like I said, you get it. I get it. They grew up watching that, so of course they're gonna have some semblance of loyalty to it or some sort of emotional attachment to it and all that. And when AEW came along, it was basically, in my mind, I think a lot of these people view AEW as a threat to the establishment that is WWE, because AEW is basically the antithesis of everything WWE represents and everything WWE has represented for the last 20 years. So in these people's eyes, they view AEW as a threat. And that's why they react the way that they do. Now, they can bullshit you and try and say, I don't think this, da da da. No, that's what it is. That's what it is. Or either that, or these people just plain don't like pro wrestling. And they hide behind the skies of, I used to be a wrestling fan back in the day, blah, 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 or I used to be a wrestling fan, da, 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 da. And they were never a fan of the actual sport itself. They were just a fan of the glitz and the glamour and the entertainment aspect and the Hollywood and all that bullshit. They were sports entertainment fans more so than they were actual wrestling fans. And that's pretty much what it is. And that's why they don't like AEW, because AEW is, more than anything, pure to what it's supposed to be, and that is wrestling. Whereas WWE prides themselves on being sports entertainment, prides themselves on being what did Michael Cole call it? A storytelling entity, and all that bullshit. And that's why I don't like AEW. If that's the case, whatever. But don't sit up here and try and fucking bullshit people and tell people you're a wrestling fan when you fucking don't like pro wrestling. That makes zero sense. That's like saying you're a fan of the NFL, but you hate football. You hate watching football. That's like being a fan of MLB, of Major League Baseball, and saying you hate baseball. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Don't call yourself a wrestling fan or a long-time wrestling fan when you don't even like pro wrestling. That makes absolutely no sense. But anyway, getting back to my point. So these people out here have had a problem with AEW since its creation. And there's been just a big contingent, just a big group of individuals who are part of, in a ways, the media, who cover pro wrestling, who talk about pro wrestling, whatever the case may be. Content creators, be it content creators, podcasters, whatever. There's a group of people out there, I can name some names, which some of them will be named during this video, who talk about AEW and they cover it. And a large part of their coverage of AEW, whenever they talk about it, is just them hating on the product. That's literally all they do. These people literally have said nothing positive about this promotion, have said nothing positive about this company, or its wrestlers, or its owner. All they do is shit on it. Literally, that's all they do. And then people like me, I see this, and I call this stuff out. They're blindly hating on it for the sake of hating on it. They're hating on it because there's an audience for that. Sad, as baffling as that is, there are people who literally shit on AEW because there are people out there who enjoy watching other people shit on AEW because they know there's an audience for it. They know the people are going to fucking cape for that shit. A lot of people have built their audience on just that, on shit talking AEW, because they know people are going to watch. All you have to do, make a video, say AEW sucks, AEW's this, AEW's that, and you'll get fucking people watching. That's fucking sad. But that's what it is. And there's a vast majority of people in this community, content creators and the like, who do just that. And they literally have based their entire channel on doing it. Grifters, as they call them. And then you'll get people out there who will sit there and defend individuals who do this by saying, well, they're just criticizing AEW. You can't hate on you. You can't call that out. They're criticizing it. They because they want to see it do better. No, they want to see it do better. They want to see AEW do better, and this, that, and the third. If you don't criticize it, then AEW's never gonna improve. Blah 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 blah. That fucking logic. Here's my response to that, and I think I've stated this before, and I'll say it again. Some of you people out here, and I don't mean to sound like an asshole or whatever when I say this. I'm just being real. Some of you people really need to learn the difference between criticism and hate, because there's a fine line between the two. And I think a good majority of you people out there who defend individuals who do this don't seem to know the difference. Again, not trying to be an asshole. I'm just being real. I don't think you know the difference between criticism and hate. When you listen to some of these people talk about AEW, when you listen to JD from NY206, for example, talk about AEW. Now, granted, I don't watch his shit anymore because he's honestly insufferable. His stuff is honestly insufferable, especially when he talks about AEW. When you listen to fucking that guy talk about AEW, when you listen to people like Just Alex talk about AEW, when you listen to any of these anti-Smark-esque channels that cover pro wrestling talk about AEW, when you listen to these podcasters like the Jim Cornettes of the world, the Eric Bischoffs of the world, the who else? Vince Russo, the Vince Russos of the world, the Glenn Gilbertis and the Conans of the world. When you listen to these people talk about AEW, and you listen to the things that they say, the obvious shots and the jabs that they take at AEW, they're not saying this. They're not saying the things that they say out of wanting to see the company do better. They're not saying these things out of criticism. This is not criticism that I'm hearing. They're saying these things because they just plain don't fucking like AEW. And they want to shit on it every chance they get. So how exactly is criticism? How exactly is it criticism when you constantly, and I mean fucking routinely, literally every video they do, you constantly take shots at fucking the company, you take shots at the owner, you take shots at the wrestlers, you insult the wrestlers every chance you get, you insult the fans every chance you get, calling them neckbeards and virgins and fucking low IQ fucking basement dwellers, or whatever the fuck stupid ass little labels you want to throw on AEW fans. And literally everything, like I said before, they never have a single positive thing to say about this company. All the good that the AEW has done in the 6 years since they've been around, they have nothing positive to say about it. Nothing. Not a single thing. They're literally just shitting on it just for the sake of shitting on it. How exactly is that criticism? How exactly is that constructive criticism? They're not saying this they're not saying this to see the company do better. They're not saying this because they want to see the company do better or that bullshit. They're saying this because they want to see this company fail. How many fucking times have we heard over the years, oh, AEW, they're in trouble. Oh, they're sinking ship. They're going out of business. Oh, they're in the red. Oh my God, this wrestler said this. Oh, this wrestler's doing this. Oh, this guy might be leaving. Oh, AEW's going to collapse. They're going to have an eternal collapse. How many fucking times have we heard that in 6 years? How many times have we heard AEW's going out of business in the last 6 years? Remember when Warner Media and Discovery merged, and people were saying, oh, this could spell trouble for AEW, and then it became WBD, and AEW fucking still, not only did AEW remain, not only did AEW stay around, stay on their fucking television networks, but they fucking signed a new TV deal on top of that, like a year or two ago. $500 million. And now there's talks of the company splitting off again. And once again, you got people, this could spell trouble for AEW. It's like, folks, how is this criticism? They're literally saying this shit just to see the company fail. Because they want so bad to see it fail. You got the fucking cracking jokes on social media. Like, literally, there are people who have accounts, entire fucking accounts on social media, on Twitter or on X, for example. Part of the reason why I'm not on that shithole site anymore. People literally dedicate their entire social media presence on shitting on this company. That's literally all they do, 24/7, nonstop. These people have no fucking life outside of social media. They literally dedicate every aspect of their life on social media on fucking talking shit about this company. That's literally all they do. How is this criticism? Somebody please explain to me how that is criticism. Not a shred, not an ounce of constructive anywhere in there. Not an ounce of constructive criticism with anything that they say. If you actually paid attention, if you bothered to pay attention and you take the rose-colored glasses off, you take the hate goggles off for a second, you will see the difference. You can tell. You can honestly tell from the ones who cover pro wrestling, the ones who cover AEW, who are criticizing it and who want to see it do better, and they point things out and they say, oh, I don't really care for this. I think they should do this. Oh, I like what they're doing here. I think they could do better here. You could tell the difference between the people who do that from the people who are just blindly hating for the sake of fucking hating, who are grifters and all that bullshit. You can tell the difference if you actually bother to pay attention. But don't sit up here and tell me that people who blindly hate on this company on a regular basis, on a routine basis, like the JDs of the world specifically, because I got a number of his fans trying to come to my videos and talk shit, you know, from the last few months. Talking about, it's just constructive criticism. He just wants to see the company do better. Bullshit. Bullshit. The guy's been shit-talking AEW for fucking years now. Constantly taking shots at the owner, taking shots at the fans, taking shots at the wrestlers. This, that, and the third. He's not doing that out of constructive criticism. He's doing it to be a dick. Because he got butthurt, because he got called out by several guys there. From one of the talents there. Had the women's locker room burying him. Had FTR burying him, so on and so forth. That's why he's doing it. Because he's butthurt. It's not out of a place of constructive criticism. So just to kind of wrap this up, some of you folks out there really need to learn the difference between criticism and hate, because there is a difference. There's a very fine line between the two. And I honestly think a number of people, don't seem to know the difference between the two. You can tell who's criticizing and you can tell who's hating if you really bother to pay attention. That's my point. So with that, I'll leave it at that for now. I may do a follow-up video later if I leave something out, because chances are I might, I'm probably going to end this video and then say, I left this out. Well, if I do, I'll do an update or a follow-up video later. Anyway, that's all I got to say for this. So be looking out for my AEW Wrestle Dream pay-per-view prediction video coming sometime either tomorrow or the next day. But anyway, that's all I got to say for this. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, Wrestling Otaku, I'm out. See you guys later. Peace.